gentlemen, I'm John.
I'm Whitney.
And we're here to talk to you today about part 2. Anytime I do a to be concluded, I always think of like the facts of life or different strokes.
Sure.
How they da-da-da-da, you know?
Yeah,
and then the
very
next one, it showed you in the previous episode.
Right, yeah.
So, in the previous episode, we went over cleaning,
right.
and really getting the contaminants off the slab. And I know that sounds pretty intense, but
It's incredibly important though.
When you're talking about the longevity of the coating or the tile on that surface, it's really all about the moistures and the impurities that you leave on there that are going to cause that delamination later on.
It really, I feel like, is one of the most important parts, and I think it's one that often gets tossed aside because people are in a hurry, which I get that, but at the same time, if you're not going to properly prep the floor, you can't expect to get a product that you're happy with.
We were doing a lawsuit, this is a decade ago, and I was talking to the contractor, and you tore the tiles up, that the floor had failed, so some of the remaining tiles, we tore them up, and then you could see under the glue that there was paint, there was like coffee stains, like you could actually see it.
It's a dirty floor.
Just a dirty floor, and when the contractor that had originally done it is now replacing it, you ask them, why didn't you prep it? And the rules and regs are out there. There are rules and regs by the ASTMs that as long as you follow them,
right.
I mean, to do this slab right here, this big stinking slab, I did with different rooms,
right.
We did it with one of our technicians, and we followed the rule book. So this is the second part, the ASTM D, it's either 4258 or 4259. One of them is chemical abrasion, the other one is mechanical abrasion. And we use the chemical abrasion. It's Clean Dissolve by Obex Co. Thank you very much for donating it.
Yeah.
And they were gracious enough to send us more than what we needed. We needed a lot more than you would normally need for a regular slab. Like, we should have done one treatment. But because portion of the slab had a sealer on it,
right.
we had to do 5 treatments, and that's what you're seeing right now in the video overlay, is that acid treatment. And because we use the Obex Co. Clean Dissolve, right. We could do it without worrying about the fumes. That there were some fumes, they weren't as noxious as the muriatic acid. So throughout this video, what you're seeing is us applying Clean Dissolve. And then originally we waited 20 minutes, but because of what was on the surface, we actually waited an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
And it was the concentrate. We didn't dilute it at all to let it really soak into that surface. So we did the hour and a half treatment, which delayed it.
Right.
Steve and I didn't get to start until later. And what was great about Obex Co. is I called them with questions.
And they answered and were available.
I've done this before. 5 treatments, and what you'll see through this is not only do we treat it, let it sit for the hour and a half, but we don't come back with a pressure washer. We put plastic up the sides of the wall to protect the sheetrock,
right.
But we didn't want to get the pressure washer out there, so we had to come back with a hose,
right.
Water, a vacuum, and scrub that surface, rinse, repeat, rinse,
right.
repeat, rinse, repeat. And you can tell that we are putting a lot of water. Remember, concrete is porous,
right.
And we'll get to that point here in a bit, but please notice that we are putting the effort into it. Like when we used to have to create reports for expert testimony on this process, we talk about what needs to be
right.
done and what wasn't done
right.
By the contractor that led to the problem. So that being said, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it to our best. And really, this process is a lengthy, involved process. So I hope you enjoyed it. Is there anything else I'm missing about this?
I don't think so. If you're going to go into it, make sure that you're prepared to do the work and all of the work. Cleaning through all the steps. Getting the color down and getting the different parts down and your sealer and all that. But it takes time, and you have to be very flexible with what it is, depending on how quickly things set up and how many treatments you need to do. But if you're not willing to put in the time, don't do it.
Right, and I did screw up. You're gonna screw up. I mean, unless you're perfect and you've been doing it for years and you've gone through all the screw ups and you have the gray hairs and the bald head. But I screwed up many a time, but I did my best to you know, with PPE,
Right.
you know, with setting up stations, that when we did mess up, it wasn't that it was minimal, because we ended up having to call a medical assistant for one of my screw-ups. That's going to be a fun story.
That is, yeah.
But we wanted to minimize the catastrophic nature of the screw-up. So notice that in the way we did it. Talked about it a lot, and that's what you don't see, how we were doing it. And bravo for the folks that do it well.
Right.
Because this is, if folks are charging you $30 to $100 a square foot, they should be doing that for a reason, and there is a reason if you're doing it right.
There's an art and a science behind it.
Oh my gosh,
to get it
totally. Well done.
Well, yeah.
Well done if you're doing it right. So, yeah, we're excited to get into the next videos. Thanks for your time. Go concrete!
Beat asphalt.